All right, welcome to IT Security Labs. Welcome to our weekly live stream, and today we have a good one. This is going to be a fun machine. It's called Healthcare, and this machine is from VulnHub, and we'll be attacking it and collecting logs. As you can see here in our security onion, we generate a lot of noise. So we're going to attack a machine, learn some ethical hacking. Then from there, we will analyze the attack traffic that we would have generated. So that's what we're working on today. This is a machine that is part of the Net Focus. This is a list of machines that are good for the OSCP and learning ethical hacking in general for beginners. We have done most of these machines so far, and today's machine is called Healthcare 1. So it's right here. You can download this machine for free from VulnHub, and you can also import it in VirtualBox, which is free. So everything that you're seeing here can be deployed mostly for free if you have a good system. BT and Matthew, it's good to see you guys. Thanks for joining again. This one is going to be a good one. We are actually going to continue our series. Remember, off last week and today, I've been working on SQL injections, perfecting that art of using SQL injection, and also just working with Burp Suite, especially on intercepting the attack and automating the process, make sure that SQL map works. So today expect to see some action with SQL map. And thanks to Matthew and George yesterday, I also learned some tricks on how to quickly parse the data. So that's awesome. So thank you all for joining tonight. This is going to be a super fun machine, and let me know if you have any issues with the audio in the comments. Otherwise, first part is make sure to download this machine from VulnHub, and as you can see here, here's our link. So you can just download this machine from VulnHub right here. It's 100% free, Healthcare 1. And from the description of the machine, it was developed to train students to think according to the OSCP methodology. So we are on the right track here. We need to pay attention to each step, because if you lose something, you will not be able to reach the goal to become root of the system. So by the time we're done, we should become root of the system. We should have a bunch of logs in here in our security onion. I already have a few, but you'll see more in here. You also see even more logs here. Keep in mind we have 690 something thousand in the past 24 hours. This number is going to probably double by the time we are done. Then we'll look at the different data that comes out of it. So if you're new here, this is our network diagram. We have a firewall, which is OpenSense. I have videos on how to set up this whole network here, 12 videos in total. And we're mirroring our traffic to Security Onion, which is our intrusion detection system. And it's a valuable resource for us because we can capture the traffic and see what's going on. So that's what we have there. I'm connected here, my Kali Linux, on this machine via Wi-Fi. It works perfectly. And then I'm running a Dell R710. That's where Security Onion is running as a virtual machine. So that's our quick setup view. Let me show you what we have in my Kali Linux. This is Kali Linux undercover mode 2019.1. So let's ping our victim machine, which is 192.168.38.23. I know this from my Windows DHCP server, and today it's responding well. And this machine is running on a machine right here in VirtualBox. So this Windows machine is connected to the same network, and I'm sniffing this traffic from it, and it works well. So you can have two machines, one that's connected to the same machine, connected to the network running VirtualBox. This way I don't stress the same computer that I'm using right now. But here's our healthcare machine. First thing that I would like to do is to take a snapshot, but in this case I'm not going to. I already have one called vanilla. Hopefully I can go back to it. Right, so let's run our Nmap very quickly here. Let's open a new tab. And this is part of our methodology. Today I'm just going to run the aggressive scan, 192.168.38.23. This is going to make a lot more noise than what we normally do, but I've noticed that I get the same results, so I'm not too worried about what else Nmap does really. So with Nmap, we're just trying to find out what's running on our victim machine. So enumerating the services that are running, and we hope to get a list of ports. And as you can see, that was very quick. All right, we got a lot of information here. Port 21 is open, FTP with that version here, which is awesome. We also have port 80 with robots.txt. So what I would like to do is, usually I would like to find out, is there a vulnerability for this FTP service? Is there anything that we can do? I didn't see any anonymous login here, so I'm going to assume it's good. Then we have port 80. Let's check port 80 right away to make sure that we have the right machine. 168.38.23. Alright, so port 80 is open, which is awesome. And then it looks like we have a countdown timer here. We can enter an email address to subscribe. Let's subscribe and see if it works. Nothing happens when we subscribe. That's okay. But port 80 is open. We have a countdown timer. So we need to wait 35 days for it to come back online. That's okay. Let's view page source. So here's the countdown timer and how they're implementing it. All right. So the logical thing here is to brute force some directories. Let's see if there's more directories on this site than what we have. And if you are familiar with my cheat sheet, we're going to use GoBuster here. And I'm just going to explain a little bit of what I changed here with our GoBuster. I have built it even more. I say, hey, let's start with GoBuster. I want to perfect this. And in this case, we start with a medium.txt. But with the OSCP and other engagements, sometimes this medium.txt might not be enough. We have seklist. Mine is located here because I manually installed it. Yours might be located differently. We have more here in the web content, and you even have more other directories there. But let's start with GoBuster here and brute force some directories with the medium.txt. All right, so what I like to do here is just change the IP. To 23. Right, so GoBuster is pretty much brute forcing some directories and trying all the words that are in this file. And when we do this, we make a lot of noise. And let me show you what the noise looks like. Security lists, security onion first. Let's remove this. Okay. In the alerts section here, you'll see that we get caught a lot. You see our Nmap is already here. We generated a bunch of noise from Nmap. And if we give it a minute, you see a bunch of GoBuster getting caught. If we go to Kibana, in the alerts section here, let's refresh. Here it is. It's refreshing, but it's GoBuster web application scan in progress. That's us scanning some directories, and as you can see, there's 211,911 events. That's how many times I've ran GoBuster, depending on what's in there. That's how much noise we've generated so far. So, and if we keep refreshing this, let's just put this to the last hour so we can see a decent number. This will also take away the work from my indexing. As you can see here, it spiked. This is part of Nmap. And if I refresh this, in real time, since I'm running GoBuster, that number should be going up if this is working. All right, it went up by 1, but it's indexing, as you can see. And here is a web app attack. That's GoBuster. We can filter through that, and I'm just showing you what noise that tool makes, because you might be curious, like, oh, what do the defenders see when you run GoBuster in their network? This is what they see. We're going to port 80, so our destination is going to be the same. This is our victim machine. This is our Kali Linux. We change the source port all the time, and here we are. We make a lot of noise. So if we open one of these, we can quickly do an autopsy here and figure out what are we doing. All right, so this one looks like the one that I picked was Nmap. Yeah, this was an Nmap script, because Nmap also is a default script for, yeah, this was an Nmap script for enumerating the port 80 that generated this one. Let's remove that. All right, let's check our results. All right, so GoBuster is going. So we see /gitweb. These ones I know what they are, but gitweb, what is that? Oh, okay, I think it was a 300. I didn't look at this. 301. Okay, yeah. I'll save us some time, because today I want us to spend some time in Kibana. So let me stop this. So this will go on and on and on, and after it's done, it will look like this. This is the final result that you will see from running the GoBuster with medium.txt, and we'll end up with a phpMyAdmin with a 4.3. Let's check it out. But at least we know there's a database there, because phpMyAdmin is a web interface for viewing the database. Of course, we know that we have a phpMyAdmin, and here is a full path to it. Even though it says access denied, it's good to know, because we never know. Once we get some permission, we will want to find this configuration file. That's good. So you might think, oh, we are actually stuck. This is where today's lesson is going to be important for those who have been here for a while. It's not a problem, because we can fire another one with a bigger word list. In this time, I'm going to use seclist. This was written by Daniel Misler and someone else, I forget their name. But seclist, not only do they have word list for web content, but they also have shells and a bunch of other tools. And here I made it easy for myself. I told myself, hey, this is where you keep your seclist, and here are your different options. Sometimes you want to start with maybe a smaller one. I can move to this one. I want to compare this one to the medium.txt and see how they compare. But let's use the big.txt. This one will take a long time, but it is more. I think it is twice, if not even more, than the medium.txt one. I can't say the number exactly, but I saw that it was significant. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because I think that's why people get trolled by the OSCPs, because they run one and forget that, hey, I didn't find anything. Let me try again with a bigger word list, because people get tunnel vision. They're like, I ran GoBuster, I didn't find anything. Well, I didn't find anything, but there's a bigger word list. So let's run this bigger word list here. 192.168.38.23. Right, so now we're running GoBuster with a bigger word list. And usually what I like to do, what I'm actually devising for myself, is I'll run with a medium.txt, and when it's done, just for good measure, I'll run this one again with this big one while I'm doing more enumeration. Just leave this one and see if it finds more stuff, but the first one gives me something to get started with. Then if I find a way with the first one, I might use these results or not, but it's always good to run both, I think, with a bigger word list. That way you don't miss anything, because I think the main thing with the OSCP and even the CH is enumeration. So as we do this, let's check our security onion again. I'm expecting more events to be coming in here. So if it's gray like this, it's refreshing. All right, so we have 101. Okay. So if I increase this, say, to the past, let's put this to the past 4 hours. Oh, I'll show you something interesting that I think I was testing it at some point today. Here it is. We get some 403s, some of those 403s, they'll get caught. Then this is something suspicious. It says that this is a false positive, obviously, because there's nothing like that. If you look at this log here, it's just seeing a certain syntax, and there's a new rule that was created this year that just gets caught in with the current Go Buster that we are running. So here we are making too much noise, and if we go back again, I'll save us time again, because I know time is money for us. I ran this ahead of time. This might take a long time, but I wanted to show you what it looks like. So let me close that, and this is the final result. And I want us to compare these results because I think it's very interesting. You see, with the big.txt, we found another directory with a 301 compared to medium.txt. Medium.txt didn't even get there. So what this shows me is that big.txt does have some results. So biggest takeaway for me is always run a bigger wait list if you want to be thorough with your enumeration. And for the OSCP, I wouldn't skip this step. So because of that, the creator of this one did this intentional, of course, to force us to do this. And if you did this the first time, you'll be stuck and scratching your head, not knowing what's going on. So let's go to 192.168.38.23 and to that. All right, so we got redirected here. I'm very interested. Every time I get redirected, I'm always interested in what happened, right? So let's bring our friend here. Burp. I want to see this request again. I want to see the whole thing. This time, actually, it's just going to be straightforward. All right. So there's nothing interesting here. Usually when you get redirected and this URL changes to something, you might want to pay more attention there. If I forward it, that's what I have here. Let's turn interception off for now. We have a form, username and password. Over the past week, we have been working on SQL injections, right? And I'm just going to follow exactly the same methodology that we've been doing, so that we verify that it actually works. And in this case, let's go ahead and turn burp on. So we're going to use burp suite to intercept the request, then automate the SQL injection on this web form using SQL map. And it's a very simple thing that if you do it a couple times, it just becomes mindless. And you want to be on top of your game, just do it and move on, do it and move on. There's nothing to stress about here. Let's put test. I'm intercepting my request here with my interception on. Login. All right, there it is. And as always, we come here and then we save this item. Some people like to save it as a .text. I just save it. Let's use this one as open. What is the name of this? Open EMR. Okay, it's going to be in my downloads folder, so let's save that. Okay, and as you can see, we're going to be injecting here where the U is goes to test. That's where our injection is going to happen. So let's turn this off. Open a terminal, file, new tab. Go to my download. Okay. Oh, I don't know why I keep doing this. I want to stay in my downloads folder but run this as root. And as we have done throughout this time, you see the power of a cheat sheet now. We have SQL map and we have done this so many times. As you can see, I have different ways. This time I want to just do a quick with DBS. Remember, SQL map form needs to be replaced with the actual file name. I'm just going to do that right now. Alright, that's the name of our file. Let's automate the process and see what's happening. Alright, that was quick. So what happened here? You might be curious, like, wait a second, you just did something. Right, we use SQL map, which is a tool for automating SQL injections. Usually when you're doing SQL injections, you want to test for injectable parameters. I have some of these here where you say admin and this, admin and whatever combination of these. Instead of doing this manually, we're automating it using SQL map, and this is what happens. And as you can see here, we have open EMR and test. I have sort of like a playbook for me, which says, okay, if you find databases, what do you do? We come here, we specify the file name and the database name, and dump all and batch pretty much. So after doing this several times, this becomes mindless, right? So of course I need to replace this database name with my open EMR. Well, that just happens to be a coincidence. Well, file name is open EMR. Next time I'll choose something that's not too obvious. So remember, this is the database. We also need to do it for the test one, so we don't leave anything unturned. Let's see what happens here. So this will try to find any tables that we might have there and automate the whole process for us. So we are running SQL map to find out more information. So if you joined a little later, we are attacking a machine from VownHub called Healthcare 1. And this machine is meant for those people who want to learn ethical hacking, hands-on, mostly beginner level stuff. And it teaches us mostly enumeration and sort of like coming up with a methodology. And that's why I'm using my OneNote notes here that I keep building every single day. And our goal really is to become better at looking at details, knowing the methodology, making this to be second nature to us so that we focus more on the details of our victim machine than worry about the syntax of these tools or how to enumerate. This should become really super easy for us so that we focus more of our attention on things that matter. All right, so it looks like this is a big one. I might have a bit more than I can chew here with this, but we're getting results, guys. We're getting results. Let's go check. As always, Security Onion, you should be capturing SQL map right now. Let's look in the alerts. I'm expecting to see something called SQL stuff. Okay, you see all these ones right here? That's our SQL injections getting caught, and Suricata classifies them as high. Right behind me here, it says high. But yeah, we are actually getting caught. And also here's another Durbuster, the one that we were looking at earlier. If we go to our hunt interface here, we should also see the same stuff, but better looking stuff, right? Web application attack, of course, that's what we are doing, attacking a web app, and we are attacking using Nmap. And then we should also see some SQL here if we spend a minute looking at this. And the good thing about this is you can also see this data. Like, there's a lot of noise here. our goal is for you as a security analyst, you need to familiarize yourself with reading network data. What does an attack look like? When a rule fires, what is it looking at? What are the parameters that it's targeting? What does it look like when the data comes from the network? And you might want to spend more time maybe reading some PCAP. As you can see here, I can just show PCAP, and this will give me PCAP right away. So PCAP, and also the other way. And as you can see here, TCP handshakes, they're actually happening, and this is something that should also become second nature to you, where you see SYN, ARC, and you know that that's the 4-way handshake ingrained in your brain pretty much. Right, so let's go back here. Wow, we're still going. So SQL map is still going, and after showing you guys in 3 live streams, I'm going to try to avoid SQL map because I think we have exhausted what we can learn from it. It's pretty much the same thing. You get a web form, fire SQL map, you get somewhere. Oh man, this is a lot of noise. Right, let's save some time here so you guys don't get bored watching this. But these are the results for SQL map. And as an attacker, you need to be very patient and be agile, right? Once you get this much noise, you need to automate the process of maybe passing this noise to what things that matter. Like for example, I'm looking for a database. I know I need a database with users. I don't care about databases that contain countries and geographic locations. I don't care about databases that contain people's preference of ice cream. I want users, I want passwords. Okay, so I'll save us some time here and go to the next stage. We do find a table called users. There's a table in there called users, actually here. Yeah, there's a table from this noise called users. But to respect your time and value for the sake of learning, let's move on to the next part. We found a table. We do this. Let's just do it this way. I'm just going to use this one. And these parameters here, I'm just going to replace with my file name from SQL map. Database name, I know the database is OpenEMR. Then I also have a table called users. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to dump the users hashes, but not just dump them, also crack them, which is super fun with SQL map. So the table that is there is called users. You have to look at those results. The database open EMR, and the file from our capture from burp open EMR. Okay, if I can type, right? Right, so what are we doing here? We're saying, hey, SQL map, use the request that we captured using burp against this database on this table. Dump all the users. Not just dump, also correct the passwords. Usually you want to specify -- batch so you don't deal with these questions, but I didn't, so I just have to accept here. I have to accept again. This will not come with batch, so maybe that's why you should use batch option. All right. It finished quickly, and look at this. This is where we hit a jackpot. Resuming password, we found hash this for user admin. We also found this hash for user medical and his password medical. So this was a very quick way. We found a table, cracked the hash. Awesome. That sounds good. All right, so let's go with admin. And admin is Akbar. Okay, let's copy that. Let's go sign in since we now have stuff here. I appreciate the suggestions. I'm definitely here to learn, so I will definitely check it out. Thank you for that, man. Appreciate it. All right, so we are in. Oh, wait a second. Spoke too soon. All right, we're in. This looks like some CMF place. So what you want to do is familiarize yourself with this thing, and the first thing that I'm always looking at is, okay, this thing has a lot of features. Does it have a name? Does it have a version number somewhere? So we are running open EMR. Oh, actually, I might have missed it. I think the version was on my previous page, wasn't it? There was a version here. Yeah, right here. I always want to Google this version, or you can use the local database to try search exploit to find if there's any known vulnerabilities for this. That's the first thing before you start even SQL injection. Just try to find if there's a vulnerability for this application. It looks dated already, so most likely, yeah, there's going to be a vulnerability. But since I skipped that step, and now we have to do it the hard way. So I didn't Google that version. I'm pretty sure if you Google it, there's a vulnerability. That is probably what we are doing right now. You want to poke around in here, familiarize yourself with this application. Is there anything of interest? And most likely, if you get really stuck, there is a manual here, so you can click, read the documentation, and being able to be patient and read documentation is also going to be important for you. New search, can I search for more things? All right, so we're using this search. I can see if I can try to search for more people, for more employees. This one, since it's a healthcare application, I'm assuming we're already affecting HIPAA here by being in here. So, oh, well, we are already here. But let's go to administration and then look at some users. Admin medical, so nothing new here. We already know this stuff. We are in as admin and we already have medical here. And admin is authorized to make changes, I guess. That's what this means. Are there any inactive users? But sometimes this might be your key. You might have to activate a user to move on. So no inactive users. ACL. Okay, so some application. After tinkering around here, here's more global stuff. Let's go to files. All right, it looks like this. I thought this was really clever. It looks like there's nothing here, right? If a person is not paying attention, they'll be like, oh, well, there's nothing. Look at this. Well, we also have the option to browse. Let's see if it allows me to. Maybe I can deploy an app here. If I go to, oh, come on. I have a PHP here called new.php. I can see if I can save that. Where did it go? Oh, we don't like that, but it went somewhere. So we have a PHP shell. We need to figure out where is it and how do we access it. So as you can see here, we have a location. If you click on this drop down, that looks like it's hidden. My new.php didn't show up here. However, we have config.php. And if I scroll down here, looks like I have the save option. So no problem, I cannot upload. I don't know where my uploads are going, but I can put my reverse shell in here. So let's do that. This is my PHP reverse shell from Pentest Monkey, the one that we always use. Mine, I just keep it on my main directory here, and it's named sh.php. I just have used it for a long time, and that's what it's just called. If you haven't used this before, I encourage you to look at Pentest Monkey PHP reverse shell. It's one of the it's probably the most common one out there, other than some of the one-liners out there. So you can put a one-liner or this one. This one seems to be more stable sometimes. And another trick is, just because this one doesn't work doesn't mean it doesn't work. You might want to try others. Sometimes trying different things might work. So let's replace whatever is in here with our reverse shell. All right. Place I wanted to show you where you might need to change. Here's my IP address for my Kali and the port. Let's change this port and let's just put 3 here, 883, and start a listener. Netcat minus LV and P on port 8883. So we're listening. We just need to save this and be able to trigger this folder, this location. Let's see if we can do that. So if we say save, it saved it. Let's go to, can I trigger it by, I don't think I can just trigger it by accessing it. Oh, okay, now that I have it here, let's refresh this whole thing. What happened to my refresh? Did it already load? Yeah, it did. By just accessing that folder anyway. I didn't even need to refresh the whole thing. It did give me a shell here. And as you can see, I'm in here as a user Apache. So now that we are in here with a shell, that's good stuff. What do I have here? ls minus la. Is this pretty stable for us? Nah, it's not. And we've seen that environment variable. Let's fix that. It bothers me. I think it's in here. Yeah. So the pentest marking reverse shell that I was talking about is here. Here are the links that you can go fix that. So that I cannot clear, I'm going to use this. Remember, I used to just Google it and use the first result. Not anymore. Now I can clear my screen. That's just one thing I like. I can't live without that feature because I clear all the time. All right, ls minus la from here. Okay. We don't have access to this. Who is home? Oh, medical. We haven't found this user. Did we find this? Let's go to medical. We already know medical. What does medical have? No bash history, nothing interesting, seriously? I can't be stuck here. Let's switch user to medical and see if that works. Did we have a password for medical somewhere here? Oh no, did I compulsively clear my screen? Clear my results. Oh, password for medical was medical. That's not good. I should have been in by now. Oh, wait a second. I am in is medical. Okay, let's fix this. Dan, I'm going to start making memes about these limited shells. I don't like them at all. Alright. Now we're in as medical. Can I clear my screen, please? That's all I ask for. Yes. Okay, what do I have in here? So So when I do this, I'm always looking like, hey, do we have batch history? I got lucky one time when I saw a batch history with clear text SSH credentials for a different user. So now I'm always looking there. Okay, that's okay. Let's do our usual sudo -l. So right now we're in the privilege escalation phase. We need to get root on this machine. We're in as medical. No, we can't. All right, so this takes us to our methodology. Now we're taking a step back. Okay, what do I do when I get a user on a machine and I do not know where to go? Well, there are things you can do manually, right? We're on the home directory for this person. Sometimes people leave stuff in weird places, like in their temp folders. Oh yeah, like that. I don't think this will take us anywhere. Oh, wait a second. No, don't do that. All right, let's trigger out shell back and switch user. Resend. Don't do what I did there. I tried to get a .sql file and I was like, no, and I panicked and I kicked myself out. I should have just let it time out. All right, once we get in as medical, let's go to our methodology. And I don't know if I have it written somewhere yet. I have a spreadsheet on our Facebook page which shows you the steps that you can take. In the privilege escalation, one of the things that you can do is check for SUIDs, check for running services, and I can explain what this is because that's our way in today. But what you want to do is maybe you can do some manual things like, hey, just check for the services that are running, check for the ports that are listening, if they're listening locally but not exposed. I think on Wednesday or something we spoke about that. We actually attacked a machine that had a port 8080 that was not exposed and we had to use a tunnel. Or if you don't want to do that manually, run tools like lean enum and then they'll do it for you. Or someone actually was telling me that they are very good at quickly finding out if they have any SUIDs files that are running. And what this does is we have an article here that I think anyone who wants to understand how to privilege escalate using this, we should read this about path variables. And the quick gist about it is that when you run things like if config, ls, and stuff like that, those commands live somewhere on the system, right? There's a path that the system knows. So when you say ls, the system knows where the ls command lives, pretty much in loose terms. And if it's running, if there's an application that is running those commands inside of it, and it's running as root, you can abuse it by saying, oh no, don't worry, I know where ls lives. ls lives in the temp folder. And instead of running ls, you run the bash command. I think that's the oversimplification of this, and that's how I interpret it. It's like, hey, I'm just redirecting it where the command that it's asking for lives. And in this case, it will give me a terminal with root because it's running as root. And it's a very simple attack. Once you understand this, you see one of these, it's game over. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. What happened to medical? Oh. All right. So since we're here, I think medical, there's a flag that we can find here under medical. Let's find that flag quickly. And then once we find the flag, we can escalate our privileges here. Let's go home. Who else? I don't know what this is. I think. Oh, I cannot use tab. Alright. There it is. Cat user the text. So this is going to. Oh, there's a star. It looks like a hack the box kind of flag, but it's not really. It's just a hash. You most likely would like to crack this and see if there's a hidden message there with this kept to the flags. You never know if this, what kind of hash is this, and you'll most likely want to crack that. But let's go to our SUIDs, and according to that article that I was showing you here, there are many ways you can find out which SUIDs are running. You can run Linear-Enum. Linear-Enum will do it for you. That's why I like it. So if I'm feeling lazy and I don't want to manually do things, I can just do that. Or you can just run one of these, or something like this. This will find all the files that are running with privileges of 400 and above. And the reason I am running that, and then I'll show you another output, which I think this is better. This one. It's highlighted because I want to use this one first. It's my preferred. Alright, so this is showing us a bunch of files. And here you need to be able to zone out a lot of noise and look for things that are interesting. And in this case, health check looks interesting. Looks like something that somebody will write to check the health of a system or something like that. So look for something that is anything and any interesting files. I mean names. Well, that doesn't look like it's a normal file. And if you run it again using this different syntax here, you get a different sort of visualization. And in this case, you can see different users as well. But we are interested in this health check here. What is it doing? There's only one way to find out. It's scanning the system and it's giving us information about the disk. So it is running, so the reason why I'm saying this is it's running commands on our systems, and your antennas should be like, ding, I should be able to abuse them then, because we're running system commands here for disk. If config, this is the output for if config. But if you didn't know this, you can also verify, right? If you cat this, it will give you something interesting like this, because it's probably compiled somehow. So if you get noise like this, you can introduce our friend strings, and hopefully we can read it better. We're confirming what we already know. It's running scanning system, that's what we're echoing out. We're running if config, fdisk, and du-h. Remember, we said once we see that we are running these system commands, we have an article that tells us pretty much everything we need to know. So we need to go to the temp folder, create pretty much the same name. In this case, it's PS. We can create for if config. Then instead of running if config, we put a bash terminal pretty much to spawn. So let's do this exactly the way that they're talking about here. And then we just get root. It's kind of boring in a way, but it's also super fun to know that it works. And once we get root, we can go and analyze our events in Security Onion. Okay, so we need to go to the temp folder and do all that stuff. Search TMP. What's in here? Okay. So I'm just going to copy those things the way they are on this different screen here. So you might not see it, but I just want us to. All right. So there are multiple ways. I encourage you to read that that document. I'm just pulling it up on this side here. Give me 1 second. Row. Okay. So see the temp, I'm just copying them the way they are. And instead of PS, I want it to be if config. So I'm saying, hey, let's save that in if config. So when we run that again, it's going to run what we have here. We need to give it permissions 777. Oh, that's awesome. Then here's the most important part. We're now telling it, hey, by the way, the path actually now resides in temp. So when you execute all these commands, do it in temp. All right. Then let's execute our health check again. It's in user, and this time it will execute our bash. Let's give it a minute, or I might have to. Right, it didn't work somehow. Let's see. Did I export my? All right. Let me make sure that. Let me make sure that it's working here. Export the path. All right. I'm missing something here. I think I'm missing a slash. Let's do it again. I'm missing that slash. That's why it's probably not working, but let's see. If I don't get my shell, I'll echo again. But this time replace that. Yeah. So let's echo again with that slash in there. I cannot even up arrow. And then close. All right, let's try it. What did I do wrong here? Let me look at the documentation here. This should work. Is it just not liking my path? Let's do it again. And let's see. Or do I have to go for that one? Paste. That's interesting. You know what? Let me try something different here. Let's go for the other one. I don't know why it's not working with ifconfig, but let's try the other one, fdisk. Yeah, let's go for fdisk here and see if we can abuse that one. Hello, we are almost at the end. I think I was echoing such bean bash. I might have to clear that. Let me see if there's... Okay, let's see. Did I miss my ifconfig? Ah, yeah. I appended at the end. I used the double. But it should have worked. Okay, maybe that was my problem. All right, simple things. The idea, I'm glad that I just kept my cool. I didn't freak out that it's not working, but I know this works. This works all the time. All right, so thank you, the independent viewer. Appreciate it, man. All right, so I just had appended my bin bash to the end. So as you can see, this article that I showed you is pretty much, this is the easiest privilege escalation you can ever get. So yeah, if you get previous and you see some ridiculous application that is calling system, making system calls like that, you're in business and you can quickly do it in no time using this here. So keep this in your cheat sheet. So here's the final part of our escalation. So thank you all who are here right now. I appreciate it. So if you joined us later, we attacked a machine from VownHub called Healthcare. We used Dwebuster to bust some directories. We even had to use a big await list. So during this time, we ran Dwebuster multiple times. We generated a lot of noise, and that noise is being captured here in our security onion. I don't know why, but for me, I like to remove things in the URL here and start fresh. That way I know. I'm running the latest version of Security Onion as of this weekend. I updated my Security Onion. And here is what we did. So this is just from the last 2 hours. If you're curious, what are we looking at here? We're looking at the information that the good guys get. What you as a system administrator or a security engineer or whatever, you get on the defensive side. If someone was in your network doing what we were doing, this is what we're... This is what you get here. So as you can see, we have a lot of noise. Yeah, please subscribe to my channel. We do this very often. We have a lot of noise here, and we want to know, what did we do? Nmap always gets caught. So if you get a pen test as a junior pen tester, remember this is what happens. You might want to be stealth depending on if you have a blind engagement or not. The blind engagement meaning only the executives or a few people at the company know that you're doing the pen test. The system administrators and everybody don't know. You might not want to run these tools the way we are doing here. You might want to run stealth or maybe controlled instead of generating a bunch of noise like what we did. So that's the takeaway here, is that don't run tools in environments, you get caught very easily. Also, as defenders, if someone is running Nmap in your environment, this is what you see if you're running something like Security Onion. So Nmap is out of the question. Last time we wanted to look at SQL, and as you can see here, we have a bunch of scans. Sometimes Nmap generates SQL alerts. That's because Nmap has a SQL script. If you run Nmap with default scripts, it will run the SQL scripts to check default stuff. So here's all the noise. We can come in here in the hunt interface. Here is the alerts when they are actually classified. And as you can see, we have a bunch of stuff. Web application attack. This is for the PHP. Remember what we did with PHP? We put a PHP reverse shell. This is what caught it here. So isn't that interesting? And here, some clear text paths that were passed. All right, let's go to Kibana because I'm more comfortable there, but you can definitely do a lot of your hunting here if you wanted to hunt for these threats. I like Kibana better. Let's refresh here. We'll see the same data, it's just a different interface. And the reason why I like Kibana is because if you like that tool, the most common SIEM solution out there, now I'm forgetting its name, it has its own querying language as well. If you learn Kibana querying language, you can use the Splunk querying language as well. So Splunk, Kibana, same deal to you, and as somebody who's learning, it's the same thing. All right, so here's Nmap and some of our events. I'm looking for something juicy to look at. Suspicious PHP code. Now that is interesting. Give me this event. I only see 2 because I think that's when I executed my PHP reverse shell. Let's find out if this is true or not. First is source IP, that's my Kali Linux, to my victim machine. So we know that. So this is some suspicious PHP. Is this my PHP reverse shell when it was caught? Network.data here should show me something interesting. It looks like it. All right, so there we have it. New shell.php. Remember that file that I uploaded? It got caught. That's the file that I uploaded to the site. This is not me copying and pasting. This is just the file, the PHP file. So another takeaway here, if you're going to be uploading to an HTTP based site, even HTTPS, most people have SSL decryptors. They'll catch you if you're going to be moving these files. What do you do then? Maybe move these files as .png if you're allowed to move them that way. Then change the extension once you're on the victim machine. That way you don't trigger a lot of network-based intrusion detection systems like Security Onion here. And okay, it also found the Netcat. I didn't run this one. Interesting. All right, here's the message. And what I'm looking at here is the same stuff that we saw earlier. And out of interest, always I like to see the rule that fired. Give credit. Well, this is the category. Give credit to the rule that fired because it caught me. All right, here it was looking for this PHP extension. Well, this is a simple rule. All right, so that's what we have for that PHP. Let's see if we have more things to find interesting stuff. Let's see if there's something of interest there. And if you guys have any anything you want me to look at here, let me know. So here's a bunch of SQL stuff that we did. Possible SQLi. I hope this is not. This is our brute forcing for the directories. Let's look at the SQL injection attempt here. What does it look like? And I'm curious, why did it catch one? Did SQL map not get caught? Because we were brute forcing with SQL map. Right, these are the two IP addresses that we have. Oh, wait a second. There's more of these. Let's filter by that value. There's only one event that does that. Alright, so from Kali to our victim machine on port 80. What did we do? It's like we just committed a crime, now we're investigating ourselves. Alright, so the message is very clear here. And in our get, you can see the full path that the attacker was going for. See the parameter I set it to test. You can tell what the attacker had actually set it to. And in this case, this is some union command that got caught. So we know we got caught with our SQL injection test, which is not ideal because we don't want to get caught. Right, and the rule that caught us is this one. And when I talk about rules, you can just copy this and visit it. This is for those people who might end up with the fun job of creating rules. You might want to familiarize yourself with some of these rules and how they work, and being able to read these rules. And this time is coming from HTTP, from any external net to any on HTTP servers, and we are looking for content. In this case, it was a union or a select. So all these different options for SQL, and it even gives you more reference here if you wanted to read more about it. But that's the rule that caught us here. Right, so that was a fun machine, and I hope you learned something tonight. I'll take a few more questions from people if people have any questions, and I'll look here, see if I missed one. Oh, thanks, Forrest. Forrest answered that. Yeah, we were just following this privilege escalation guide, where if somebody has an application that's calling system, ifconfig, or any of those system commands, and they put it in their application and they are running with root, you pretty much own the system that way. And this is a sort of like a proof of concept document that I think explained it very well for me to understand what it was doing. And that's what we have. So that's what we have here. So if you haven't, please subscribe, like this video so that the YouTube algorithm can suggest it to more people. This week is going to be busy for me. CH multiple choice is coming on Wednesday. Then I can register for CH practical, which I'm looking forward to more. Multiple choice, not so much. It's just multiple choice. And I'll know when I can take the practical after Wednesday. Then I'll take that. Then I can go for the licensed penetration tester and then the OSCP. Fun stuff for learning. The CH prep is going very well. If you have been following my channel, I think you pretty much know that I think I have the basics of the InfoSec done. I also have my CISSP. I'm not taking it lighthearted, though I'm still practicing multiple choice, but I'm not expecting my exam to be too difficult. At least the multiple choice one. The practical one, I heard that there's 20 questions, CTF style, 20 things I need to do. So I'm practicing my open source intelligence gathering. I'm practicing running some tools that they taught me during my training. I'm practicing capturing data with Wireshark and all that stuff. which most of it is pretty, yeah, straightforward. Yeah. Then I also have an exam voucher for the licensed penetration tester from EC Council for the exam. So I'm hoping to take that as well. So much fun. I'll become a CEH master. I don't know if that matters anyway. Certifications are always good no matter what. People might say a lot of bad things about CEH. Certifications are a great way to go through the HR robots out there. When you're looking for a job, they validate your skills. The CEH, the only thing that they messed up is they called it certified ethical hacker. When you cannot call somebody who passes that multiple choice exam a hacker. I went through the training. None of the material that they taught me made me a hacker. They just made me memorize the tools. Being able to process things the way we are doing here, think about your methodology, think outside the box, look for things and understand what you're doing. That's what makes you a hacker, I think. I'm not saying I am one, but at least that's what I think. So the CEH is a misleading name, but it doesn't take away from the basics that we learn from it. Yes, I do have access to the iLabs. I can sign in and show you, but I think they get mad. The labs are pretty boring. I find them extremely boring. I'm going through them anyway because I know that's what they're going to be testing me. They're boring. They have like ZenMap installed on a Windows 10 machine. Then they're like, hey, run ZenMap in aggressive mode. Run ZenMap against this target. See, that's what Nmap shows you. Well, I've made more than 50 videos running Nmap here. I'm pretty comfortable with Nmap. Yeah, so CEH is definitely, if anyone asks me, should I go for the CEH, if you have somebody paying for it or if you have the money, please, by all means, you'll learn a lot from it. If you are just getting started, you'll learn what all these tools do. There's more information about like open source threat intelligence that is really good stuff to know, using other tools that we don't show up here, like the harvester for finding people's email addresses online. That is really helpful stuff. It sort of like solidifies the whole stuff, and the credentials kind of makes HR wanna call you, I think. Or it makes InfoSec people cringe, one way or the other. The best advice that I got for people with CAH is that just don't go around putting it in front of everybody, say, hey, I'm a certified ethical hacker, I can pen test your network. People really take offense to that. Just say, hey, I'm a certified ethical hacker and I learned a lot and I know the basics. That's a better way of selling yourself with your CEH. Don't assume people don't know, because people know that it's a multiple choice 150 questions. You can pass that test, but you cannot actually follow a pen test. I don't think you can. You need more than that. You need this practice here. So that's my little 2 cents for my cert. I'm definitely not going to bash it, because hey, I'm going to be a certified ethical hacker very soon, hey? I can go, every time I start my live streams, I'm going to say hacker on top. No, I can't do that. And because of the nature of what we do here, YouTube demonetizes these videos, so you know. I don't make money. You say hack, you say SQL injection, you say pen test, you say these buzzwords. YouTube listens even though I have an accent, and somehow this content is considered not good for advertisers. And I'm curious which advertiser thinks what we're doing here is offensive or is not good for them. We're classified as dangerous, by the way, by YouTube. Which makes sense, because this can be used for bad, but as we know, we're doing this for good, so don't use this. I might have to put the disclaimer at the beginning, but I hope you understand that use this for good and don't break any laws. All right, so we had some fun here looking at these events. I hope you can set up this lab for yourself. It's super simple. A few people have been reaching out to me. I'm able to help you with the setup. And it's just a fun lab. It's pretty decent. And as you can see, it's super fast. You can set this one up on your laptop, but when you do on a laptop or a desktop, things might become really slow on you, and you don't want to be dealing with this thing being slow. You just want to focus your energy on things that work, right? Awesome. All right, thank you all for being here. I appreciate you for joining me. And as always, like and subscribe. I will see you after Wednesday, after I'm done with my exam. My exam is Wednesday night, Central Standard Time. So you probably won't hear from me until Thursday or Friday. But if I pass, I'll let you know. If I fail, I'll also let you know. So thanks for being here. I'll post in our community chat. Have a good one.